It's a little hard finding the right words to introduce Jim Henderson. This is a guy who drives a car with 300,000 miles on it. Most of us get a new car when the old one starts to look like crap. Jim just has Mako bake on a new paint job. This is a guy who challenges our knowledge of the language by using words like penultimate instead of just saying next to last. This is a guy who can recite many of the lines to one of the cheesiest movies of all time, Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. And by the way, Jim, Karen Swenson wants me to tell you that, Clark, the shitter's full. Jim is the voice of the Saints who has the honesty and the balls to say in his latest Saints commentary, "Before Isaac, we were all sipping the preseason Kool-Aid that has turned into hemlock just 2 games into the season." When he came to New Orleans 34 years ago, pickets marched in protest in front of Channel 4 because Jim was replacing Hap Lawdy. The station hired security to protect him, to get him in and out of the building. Now the only place he might need protection is at Channel 4 from management because he came out of retirement to join the competition. And the guards at Channel 4 would be more likely to block his entrance than to escort him inside. In his first weekend after starting the job in New Orleans, Jim accepted the guy's offer to buy him a beer on Bourbon Street, only to discover, when he looked around the place where the guy took him, that he had been picked up and taken to a gay bar. That's true. But when it comes to sports, Jim has been the one doing the seducing. He very quickly became the standard for sports in this town, especially when it comes to the Saints. And he has become much more than just the voice of the Saints. Fans want to know what Jim thinks about the latest win, the loss, or the scandal. Whodats want to hear his analysis and insight on Saints trades, strategies, and plays on the field. When things go wrong and when they go right, Jim gives voice to the Whodat heartbreak and jubilation. Jim has become the heart, the spirit, the conscience of the Whodats. It's his voice on the radio that resonates when Whodats grieve over a loss or celebrate victory. No Whodat on this planet will ever forget Jim's words, which you just heard when the Saints clinched the NFC Championship on the way to winning it all. Pigs have flown. Hell is frozen over. The Saints are on the way to the Super Bowl. In a phrase, he expressed how we all felt after decades of defeat and heartbreak, and suddenly, unbelievably, a season of elation and triumph. The coaches and players often talk about the importance of the fans, how their voice in the Superdome is like the 12th man on the field, giving the team an edge. For Whodats, the voice of the Saints has always represented that 12th man. Many fans even bring radios to the game so they can listen to Jim and Hokie. When the Saints won the Super Bowl rings were handed out to players and coaches, executives, and others in the organization. Personally, I have never understood why Jim, the voice of the Saints, the heart and soul of that 12th man on the field, was not given a Super Bowl ring. Don't you think he deserves one? But that's something else about Jim. Ask him about that. He'll tell you it's not important, it doesn't matter. He totally understands, fine with him. Jim cares about his wife, Stump, their kids, their grandkids, and his work. He cares more about relating, communicating, honestly reporting to his listeners and viewers than any bling his commitment to the craft might bring. That's not to say that Jim doesn't enjoy a free meal now and then. But this voice of the Saints is one of the most humble, most self-deprecating, genuine guys you will ever know. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Joe Gemelli Fleur-de-Lis Award winner, Jim Henderson.
Thank you so much, Dennis. I certainly do appreciate you being here. I know Angela would have as well if she didn't have a previous speaking commitment. I also wanted to announce at this time that I'm going into retirement. Channel 6 has kind of been talking to me. It's really funny. Dennis pointed out the fact that I have gone over to Fox 8 to do some things there part-time. And when all this came out that I was going to Fox 8, I got so many nice messages from fans saying, we're so pleased you're back on the air, we missed your commentaries, just the nicest words possible that I'd see them on the street or I'd get conveyed to me in emails. And one of my tennis buddies conveyed to me a message that said just simply one word, and it was, whore. He and the rest of my gang were going to come today, but they found out that there was no open bar, so I really do appreciate this. This is great. I want to recognize the two people, my wife, Carol, otherwise known as Stump, seated down to my left, who's been with me every step of the way, and my son, Derek. Stand up a second, Derek. Derek has been with the Saints in ticket-selling capacity and corporate sales for over 13 years now. And he got his first taste of the Saints sitting up in the nether seats in the bad old days, during which, with the Saints usually out of the game by mid-second quarter, he would amuse himself by going out and playing Nerf football on the concourses or commandeering one of the serving carts and slaloming down the walkways, or tearing up his program and making paper airplanes with it and seeing if he could finally get one to land on the 50-yard line in the course of the game. He'll be here on Sunday, and I'm telling you what, if you do that again, your mom's going to spank you. Way back when, I succeeded a man named Wayne Mack. Wayne Mack is a member of the Saints Hall of Fame, and he truly was a member of the Joe Gimelli era. And I remember being at Impastado's and seeing Wayne Mack go through a similar thing like this. And he stood up and very humbly said, you know, I really never expected to be honored for doing this. I was just trying to pay down the Visa bill. And as I stand before you, I just doing it to pay down the Visa bill. The MasterCard, the Discovery, Diners Club, and my Shell gas card, too, over on the North Shore. But we're working on it. So many great memories have been afforded to me through doing this, and I truly am honored by this. I never worked a day in doing this job. I see so many of my friends here through the Saints. So many of you are my friends as members of the Who Dat Nation, and this has just been a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I truly never expected to be honored. I should be honoring you for the opportunity. It was never a job. It was always a privilege, as it is to go into the Hall of Fame with people like Deuce McAllister, who I think was one of the classiest and nicest people I've ever seen in and out of a Saints uniform, in and out of being a player. And I'm truly honored to go in with him, along with Mr. Benson, who in many ways saved the Saints for New Orleans, and in other ways saved New Orleans for the Saints. I appreciate this very much, more than you'll ever know. Thank you so much for being here.
At this time, Dennis.